Hello, welcome back. Just a very quick one on this today, and it's the little quad tractor. The only reason I'm doing this one now is because when I put it together, most of what I've done disappears. So I thought I'd show you before I put it together. The limber, it doesn't open, so it is what it is. I've put a bit of sanding on the tyres, as you can see, and a little bit of weathering on the back of it. I don't know how well that shows up. As you can see, all the kit is falling off the back of it. The kit, the instructions say to put most of this kit, glue it on the back there, and as you can see, it's all just falling off the limber, which is quite an able carrier. So what I've decided to do is put it on the limber, because I think it's a bit silly putting it on there. Stack it up on there. I may or may not glue it on. I'll decide on that as I go along. I've just painted it a canvas colour. A little bit of weathering on the tractor itself, the hull of the tractor. Bit of dust on the spare tyre. A little bit of rust around them. All of these will have been brought in by sea, so there's going to be rust on them. That's simple as that. I didn't want to dirty it up too much. The glass went in really quite easily. I'm getting quite good with the glass, and I've moaned about this kit all the way through, but I'm particularly keen on the inside, the glass on the inside. As you can see on the windscreen, I'm sure you can see it there, there's 4 lugs, one on each corner, and put a little bit of ultra glue I used to stick the glass in with. A little bit of ultra glue on each of those on each of those lugs, and it's stuck there for life, I reckon. The same on the side windows, they have the same. One interesting thing, the windscreen wipers are just a moulding on the front of the windscreen. So if you've got a nice steady hand, you might be able to paint them black. I've got sort of a steady hand and almost got it right. So that's it. I've mentioned before this rolled up piece of canvas. I think it's the tarp that goes over there. I don't think it's a bed roll or a kit roll or anything like that. So that's what I've done. I've put a little bit of weathering on it, a little tiny bit of rusting, and a little bit of weathering on the sides there. The underneath of it I've dirtied up quite a bit because it would be quite dirty, and those that are more engineering orientated will notice that the fan's missing. I put it somewhere safe. Now I can't find it, so that's gone forever. It'll turn up once I've got the top glued on. It'll turn up, but to be fair, the engine's never going to be seen again in this kit. So the winch, there's no cabling comes with it or anything like that. There's no holes drilled through for the cable to pass through, so I've left it off. I was going to put cable on it, but I think it's just a waste of cable, to be honest. And that's a neat idea. I've not noticed that on this before. The actual bull bar on the front of it is made of a half spring, a half road spring. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's what it is. It's a half road spring. The fuel tanks are never going to be seen again, so they're painting them and then I'm going to bury them. A little bit of rust on the springs, a little bit of rust on the joints, a little bit of rust on the brake drums. There doesn't seem in this kit to be any brakes on the front wheels, which would be a bit unusual, but there you go. It's quite an old motor, and a bit of rust on there. Rusted the exhaust pipe. The transfer box would have been aluminium, and the gearbox would have been aluminium. And that's about all I can tell you there. So that's a bit messed up, mucked up I should say, a bit mucky. The inside of the cab, 6 seats, and a little bit of sand on the floors, a little bit of muck in there, not too much, you know, people don't want to live in muck, do they? and the guys that operated this would have to live around it somewhere. If they wouldn't be able to sleep in it perhaps, but they'd have to live around it somewhere. And so a little bit of weathering, if you like, in there. This then goes on the top of here, and it doesn't glue down. Well, it can glue down, but to be fair, it clicks on without any trouble at all. And there you go, you might have heard the click, and it's not going to come off. And as I say, the fuel tanks have all but disappeared, and it finishes off the underneath of it, if you like. The cab, the hull, then goes on top, like so, he said, with hope in his heart, like so. And again, I'm not convinced I'm going to glue that down, but when it's fastened on, it hides everything. Everything in there is gone. That's how it goes. There you go. And you can't see the steps. I've left the one door open, the driver's door open, so that you can see inside the hull, but that's about it. So it's more or less finished. I don't really need to glue those three pieces together. They will click together and stay there. So that's that. The limber I've just mentioned, and the gun. I'm not well up on things like this, to be honest, so somebody with a lot more knowledge of me will probably tell me that I've gone wrong with this. I didn't know how to weather it. I didn't know whether it would be dirty, whether it would be clean, where the brass would be, where the steel would be. The instructions say that those two little lugs there should be painted with a brass colour, so I'll do that. But that's all the information they give. So there was one gentleman that told me that he worked on one of these. He was served on one of these, and maybe I haven't got I'm not in front of my computer at the moment, so maybe you could get in touch with me and tell me where I've gone wrong. I've glued it all together. I've glued it onto the stand, which is used as a turntable, because the wheels on this, they don't really fit. They wobble around all over the place like this. So I thought I'd glue it down now, and I've done with it. So that glues onto there. It then, I thought part of that moved. It then will be marked up like this. Oops. So it will go on a diorama, and the gun will be at one side of it there. That's the wrong way round. It would be that way round. The gun would be at that, like that, set there somewhere. And I'll look at some pictures to make sure that I get that right. So that it's been driven in, the gun's been dropped, he's been reversed back so that the ammunition limber is close to the gun, and that would be the setup. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you. So that's got all of that is going to be fixed together, and it will go onto a diorama, and it will go onto a diorama with this Scammell Pioneer, a 32-ton tank carrier. I'll do an unboxing of that in the near future. But those two, the Scammell and this little Ford, are all going on the same diorama, and with a bit of luck they'll look really good. All I've got to do is find somewhere to put it once I've built it up without telling my wife where it went. Thanks for watching. It'd be great if you could like and subscribe, and if you could share the video, that would be even better. Thanks for your time. See you next time. Ta-da.